When I first met Lisa, it felt like I'd won the lottery. She embodied everything I had ever hoped to find in a partner: intelligent, driven, and effortlessly captivating. Her quick wit could brighten an entire room, turning even the dullest exchange into something memorable. We were introduced by mutual friends at a dinner party, and the moment she laughed, an unrestrained, full laugh that made people glance her way, I was done for. There was something about her presence, the way she made each person feel significant, that drew me in instantly. She was magnetic, and I couldn't help but be pulled toward her. From that night forward, our relationship moved fast. Within a few months, we were nearly inseparable. Our weekends became a blend of spontaneous road trips, aimless drives, and quiet mornings spent sipping coffee while talking about our ambitions. We created our own little universe, filled with inside jokes, whispered secrets, and the unspoken certainty that we were building something genuine and lasting. Lisa's career was skyrocketing. She thrived in a demanding corporate role, the kind of high-pressure environment where she naturally commanded respect. Her coworkers admired her, her bosses trusted her, and she made success seem effortless. I was proud to stand beside her and watch her climb higher every year. My path looked different. I owned a landscaping business, something I had built entirely from scratch with my own two hands. It wasn't glamorous or the kind of profession that drew attention at cocktail parties, but it was mine. There was deep satisfaction in taking something wild and overgrown and shaping it into something beautiful. I loved my work, not just because it paid the bills, but because it gave me purpose. Every project was a testament to patience, skill, and vision. Lisa often told me she admired that about me, that I wasn't chasing corporate glory like everyone else, that I was focused on building something of my own. She said I inspired her, and I believed her. At first, I didn't notice the shift. Her remarks began subtly, almost teasingly. "You wouldn't understand office politics," she'd say with a playful grin when venting about work. Or, "You're lucky you don't have to deal with spreadsheets all day." I laughed along, thinking nothing of it. She was just blowing off steam, wasn't she? But over time her comments changed. One evening at dinner with friends, she joked, "Must be nice, spending your days playing outside instead of dealing with real deadlines." Everyone laughed, me included, but it landed differently. I told myself I was reading too much into it. Yet the pattern kept repeating. Gradually, it became clear. Lisa didn't really respect what I did for a living. Still, I loved her. I convinced myself her words didn't matter, that she was just tired from work and didn't realize how they sounded. Then I proposed. It wasn't a grand event, just the two of us at home, in a moment that felt right. I poured my heart out, told her how much I loved her, and how excited I was for our future. She said yes, smiling as she kissed me. For a while, everything felt perfect again. But the cracks were already there. The unraveling truly began at one of her company's upscale parties, held at a lavish venue with dim lighting, a string quartet, and waiters weaving through the crowd with trays of expensive appetizers. Lisa had encouraged me to come, saying it would be a great chance to meet her colleagues and experience her world. I wasn't comfortable with the idea. Corporate settings weren't my scene, but I wanted to support her. I put on my best shirt, made sure I looked sharp, and walked in beside her. At first, it was fine. Lisa introduced me with her usual warmth, her hand resting lightly on my arm. I shook hands, smiled, and made small talk. Then came the question, "So what do you do?" The man asking was sharply dressed, with a tailored suit and a luxury watch. "I run a landscaping business," I replied, standing tall. "We transform outdoor spaces from the ground up." He gave a polite but faintly dismissive smile. Interesting." I brushed it off, but the pattern repeated. Every introduction led to the same question, the same reaction, the same flicker of condescension. Then Lisa joined in. When someone asked how we met, expecting her usual sweet story, she instead chuckled, "Oh, he's my hardworking handyman." The group laughed. I froze. That was how she described me. It didn't stop there. Fueled by alcohol, One of her colleagues joked that Lisa was dating down. She didn't correct him. She laughed, really laughed, as if it were the best joke she'd heard all night. The final blow came when someone asked if she thought my business would ever grow into something real. She smirked. Maybe one day he'll be landscaping for CEOs instead of retirees. Laughter rippled through the group. I didn't join in. I looked at her, waiting for a sign she understood how hurtful this was. She didn't notice. "That's it," I said quietly, setting my drink down. She turned, confused. "Where are you going?" "Home. You can tell your friends why." The drive back was silent. My hands gripped the wheel as I replayed the night's humiliations. Once inside, I turned to her. "What was that?" My voice was steady, but cold. "What are you talking about?" she asked. "You know what I'm talking about. The jokes, the comments, laughing along when your coworkers mocked me. Is that how you really see me?" She rolled her eyes. "You're overreacting. It wasn't a big deal. Lisa, they treated me like I didn't belong, and instead of having my back, you made it worse." Her expression softened for a second, but then she said flatly, "It's not like your job is prestigious. I mean, you mow lawns for a living. What do you expect people to say?" Something inside me cracked. "Is that all you think I do?" I asked quietly. She said nothing. "I can't do this," I said at last. "Do what?" "This." I gestured between us. "I can't marry someone who doesn't respect me." She crossed her arms. "Fine. Maybe we shouldn't get married." "Maybe we shouldn't," I agreed, removing the engagement ring from her finger and setting it on the counter. The metal felt icy, stripped of its warmth. "Goodbye, Lisa." And just like that, it was over. The days that followed blurred together. One moment we were planning a wedding. The next, everything had vanished. She was gone from my life as quickly as she had entered it. At first, it didn't seem real. I caught myself waiting for her to walk in, half expecting her casual, "Hey," as if nothing had changed. I'd reach for my phone to text her before remembering there was no reason to. The silence was deafening. The empty hangers in the closet carried more weight than I thought possible. But the worst part wasn't the emptiness. It was the questions. Had she ever loved me? Had she always looked down on my work? If so, why had she agreed to marry me? I buried myself in my business. Landscaping, once my pride, became my refuge. Every completed project, every satisfied client reminded me that I was good at what I did, that it mattered. Friends rallied around me. "She didn't deserve you," one said over drinks. My family echoed the sentiment. My mother shook her head. "She was blind to how lucky she was," she said firmly. Slowly, I began reclaiming myself. I took up running again. The early mornings, the steady rhythm of my steps, the crisp air filling my lungs. I started journaling, pouring every thought and hurt onto paper until they felt smaller. Then, months later, I saw her on social media, at a work event, dressed elegantly, champagne in hand. For a moment, I felt a pang of mixed emotions. But it passed quickly. She had her life. I had mine. And I was okay. 6 months on, my business was thriving like never before. High-profile clients were recommending me to others, and the jobs kept getting bigger and better. Then Lisa texted me out of the blue. "Hey, it's Lisa. Can we talk?" My first instinct was to ignore it, but curiosity won. "What do you want?" I replied. "I want to apologize," she said. "We met at a small coffee shop we used to visit." She was already there, looking worn and a little lost. "I owe you an apology," she began. "For everything, for what I said at that party. I didn't realize how much I hurt you. You deserved better." "I appreciate the apology," I said. "But why now?" She stared into her coffee. "It's been a rough year. I've had time to think. I know I can't undo it, but I wanted you to know I'm sorry." For a moment, I almost pitied her. Almost. "I'm glad you've reflected," I said, "but your apology doesn't erase what happened. You didn't just hurt me, you made me feel small. That's not something I can forget." Tears filled her eyes, but she nodded. "I understand." I stood. "Take care, Lisa." As I walked out, I felt something unexpected, closure. Life after Lisa only grew better. My business reached new heights. landing a major project to redesign the landscaping for an office building near hers. The irony wasn't lost on me. Outside of work, I reconnected with friends, spent more time outdoors, and eventually started dating again. One relationship became something real. Megan and I had known each other in college, and reconnecting felt natural. She was warm, funny, and, most importantly, she respected me. One evening, strolling through a park I had designed, she said, "You create beauty. How many people can say that about their work?" For so long, I had let Lisa's words make me question my worth. But Megan saw me, really saw me, and valued what I did. Looking back, I realized how much I'd grown. The breakup had been painful, but it forced me to reevaluate what I wanted and what I deserved. I deserve respect. I deserve to be seen as an equal. Now, my business is thriving, my relationships are stronger, and I'm with someone who values me for who I am. Sometimes, the hardest choices lead to the best outcomes. And to anyone feeling unappreciated, don't settle.